A yacht girl. That's right. It's mentioned in the book. Meghan used to entertain as a yacht girl. Now, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it happened, but I am saying Harry.
They say every fairy tale begins with once upon a time. But Meghan Markle's story? It began on the waves of a gilded yacht. No question about it. Before she became the Duchess of Drama, Rachel Meghan Markle was a fixture of the high seas social circuit, a semi-luxury girl with ambitions as vast as the Mediterranean horizon. Hollywood rejection letters and glittering VIP lists were just the surface. The real red carpet? Floating somewhere between Monaco and St. Tropez, where billionaires sipped champagne beneath the sun and cameras were strictly forbidden. Some of you have seen the photos. There's Meghan, perched on the deck, her signature hat angled just so, radiating confidence most actresses only dream of. While her peers were auditioning for parts, she was building connections with some of the world's most powerful men. And yes, she knew Prince Andrew. She knew Sarah Ferguson intimately, which makes Zara's claim, "I didn't know Meghan until the wedding," nothing short of a lie. And now, decades later, the ghosts of those golden yacht summers have returned, dragging Meghan's carefully curated image into a storm she may never escape. Because when Sarah Ferguson casually let slip that Meghan was Andrew's first client, the shockwaves hit the palace harder than a royal scandal ever should. You can almost imagine Andrew leaning back, smirking, ready to say, "Harry, mate, she sailed these waters long before you entered the picture." This wasn't a casual jab. It was an eruption, linking Meghan's glittering past to the shadowiest corners of Andrew's scandal-ridden circle. And Harry, the prince who abandoned a crown for Californian sunshine, was blindsided. The love story he risked everything for? Suddenly, it felt as though it had been sailing through far murkier waters than he ever imagined. So pour yourself a drink. Tonight, the royal brew is boiling over. This isn't just a story, it's a tempest. And when the truth comes ashore, someone's crown is going to be lost to the tide. Fergie's target isn't subtle, and the lengths she's willing to go to exact revenge on Meghan are shocking, even by royal standards. Inside the palace, silence couldn't last. Within hours, whispers ignited into a headline storm. Fergie's revelation wasn't a slip of the tongue. It was a carefully aimed fuse, set to blow the monarchy's fragile peace apart. Panic erupted behind marble walls. Emergency meetings were called. Courtiers scrambled to contain what they feared could rival the Andrew-level disasters of old. This time, the name at the center of the chaos wasn't an aging, forgotten scandal. It was Meghan Markle. The woman who promised to modernize the monarchy and instead became its most polarizing figure. Fergie had nothing left to lose. Stripped of her title, she had only fire and fury and a desire to scorch anyone who crossed her path. For Harry, it was a cruel, almost cinematic twist. Married to the enemy, blindsided by secrets he never imagined, facing a storm that not even exile in California could keep at bay. Royal insiders speak of disbelief simmering beneath the surface, shock, fury, and a rising sense that nothing in this palace or in this story is safe anymore. It wasn't just Fergie's audacity that shook the palace, it was the weight behind her words. The thought that Meghan's early summers, drifting between sun-soaked yachts and clandestine billionaire circles, could intersect with Prince Andrew's notorious inner world sent tremors through Buckingham's marble halls. And the kicker? None of this came from tabloids. None of it leaked from gossip blogs. It came from inside the royal family itself. As one insider warned, when Fergie speaks, she's not gossiping. She's issuing a warning. Suddenly, the palace faced a dilemma that could unravel centuries of carefully curated decorum, defend Meghan and risk reigniting Andrew's shadowed past, or remain silent and let the storm grow. But behind closed doors, an even darker game was unfolding. This wasn't merely about what Fergie said, it was about why. Her motive hinted at a rivalry buried deep, one that no one saw coming. Why now? Why this royal grenade? Because Meghan dared to place herself above them. And Fergie, stripped of her title yet still a master of timing, seized the opportunity. She knew Meghan had secrets. She knew the past that could topple carefully built facades. She was ready to expose, ready to burn the narrative to ashes. Palace insiders insist it wasn't chance, it was calculated. The royal machine had been quietly recalibrating ever since the Sussexes' dramatic exit, and Fergie, survivor of her own disgrace, saw the opening to remind everyone she still held the strings. For years, Fergie had lurked in scandal's shadow, humiliated, ostracized, dismissed. But Meghan's meteoric rise reignited a spark, envy, resentment, a desire for control. One former aide put it bluntly, this wasn't revenge. It was calculated retaliation. Fergie had watched Meghan dominate headlines, charm Hollywood, manipulate the press, and perhaps she thought the younger woman had borrowed her playbook. Now, by linking Meghan to Andrew's scandal-soaked world, Fergie was dragging her rival into the same storm she had once endured. Some say there's a darker angle. By tying Meghan's name to Andrew, Fergie may have been orchestrating a diversion, redirecting attention away from herself and her ex-husband. Sacrifice one reputation to protect another. And it worked. Allegedly, Harry's friend Tom had tried to warn him. Tom had hired yacht girls in years past, and one of them was Meghan. That, insiders say, explains why Meghan never invited him to her wedding. He knew too much. Overnight, the headlines flipped, and while Meghan's team scrambled to douse the fire, Fergie reclined, watching as the chaos she ignited reshaped royal history, headline by headline. But beneath the surface, a question burned: personal vengeance or palace power play? Harry, blindsided, reportedly crumbled the night the yacht allegations resurfaced. First disbelief, then anger, then a storm of fury. Meghan, usually composed and poised, paced her rooms, insisting this was nothing but character assassination. Harry, voice tight, demanded answers not of Meghan, but of those spreading the story. Who is behind this? He allegedly demanded, patience shredded. Across the Atlantic, the palace remained eerily quiet. Official spokespeople refused comment. Secret meetings moved behind closed doors. And through the corridors of power, whispers didn't focus on Fergie's claims, they centered on Harry's reaction. Rumors swirled that the palace might even attempt a negotiation if Meghan's secrets were revealed in a tell-all. Perhaps there could be compensation or damage control. One insider spoke plainly. Harry wasn't just furious at Fergie. He felt abandoned by his own family. The fragile bridge between Sussex and Crown began to splinter further. Meghan urged him to rise above, to safeguard their family and brand, but the wound was deep. This was no idle gossip. This was personal. The prince who left everything for love realized that, even oceans away, the monarchy could strike where it hurt most, and the ultimate question lingered in shadow. Was this chaos accidental or masterfully engineered from within the palace? This wasn't just another royal feud. It was a mirror reflecting the monarchy's deepest fractures. The Meghan-Andrew connection wasn't merely a headline, it was proof that the past never truly dies. It waits. It resurfaces when it can inflict maximum damage. For Harry, the blow cut deeper than pride. It threatened everything he had sacrificed. The man who abandoned royal life to protect his family was now watching the same institution crumble under whispers he couldn't control. Even social media amplified the storm. John Leifer, behind the notorious GS Elevator Twitter account, tweeted that Harry wasn't the first prince Meghan met online. According to him, the Saudis flew her to France and Dubai as a yacht companion. Harry? Just the guy who thought he could turn her into a housewife. For Meghan, irony stung like a knife. The very charm that once opened doors in the world's most exclusive circles was now weaponized against her, turned from ambition into a perceived threat, innocence into strategy. Her carefully constructed image, built on philanthropy and media mastery, now trembled under the weight of old secrets reborn. Even Meghan's meticulously crafted image, built on brand deals and humanitarian campaigns, now trembles under the weight of old rumors resurrected by royal politics. And for Fergie? She's once again proven a truth the monarchy understands all too well. Power isn't given by titles, it's seized with timing. And longtime power brokers, old friends who know the monarchy's every flaw long before the press. Some reports hint that certain remnants of Andrew's long-forgotten circle seized the chance to redirect scrutiny. With Andrew's past still haunting the palace, what better diversion than linking Meghan, Hollywood's gold?